Hi 645 class, and welcome to week 4 of online Music con Brio. I really enjoyed seeing many of you last week on our Zoom lessons, and I hope to see many of you again next week. But for now, for this week, we're doing some YouTube content, and today I'm going to make you a video that focuses on two pieces that several of you are working on in our class right now. So the first one is the Martini Gavotte, which is in packet number 7. And then the second one is the second Seitz, so that's the second piece in the Suzuki Book 4. So all of you should be able to work on the Martini Gavotte. If you haven't gotten a Book 4 yet, obviously you can go ahead and stop the video when we get to the second Seitz. But everybody should either be working on or reviewing the Martini Gavotte. If you do not have music for it, you can download packet number 7 off of our new website. So you have to log into the student dashboard and then go to the Violin page, and then all of the music packets are available for download. So you can download this music packet and then play along with us. So the Martini Gavotte is a rondo form, and a rondo means that every other section is A, and then every other section is not A. And that's it. So it's a very specific form, but also very free. You can have a B, a B, a C, a C, a D, a D, a B, a B. You can have, as we have in Martini Gavotte, a B, a C, a D, a E, a F, A. You can have what's called the Abacaba rondo, so A, B, A, C, A, B, A. There's endless combinations. The idea with a rondo is that you have half really familiar sections. So human beings really like stuff that we know. And so half of the sections are A. And so every time an A section comes back, it's like an old friend and everybody recognizes it. And that's really fun. But human beings also like things that are new and different and contrasting. And so every section that is not A fulfills that kind of desire. So we have both repetition and contrast, which are two things that human beings really like. So the way in the Martini Gavotte that contrast is achieved in the alternating sections, first of all, we have contrast of the tonal center, or the key. So the A sections are all exactly the same as each other, and they are all in the key of G major. And the D section, which is kind of the middle of the piece, and in fact also is the dynamic climax that gets up to fortissimo of the piece, is also in G major. But the B section is in G minor. The C section is in E minor. The E section is in B minor. And then the F section starts in A minor and then ends up in C major. So we have a lot of different hand frames. That's one of the most challenging things about this piece, is that basically every section is in a new hand frame. So for those of you who are working on this piece right now, I would definitely encourage you to work on each section individually. And in fact, make sure that you're aware of what the hand frame is in each individual section. If you have questions about that, you can certainly ask, and we can deal with that in your lessons. But I also want to talk about, and this is kind of going to be the focus of this video, I want to talk about the contrasts in articulation and also in dynamics. So not only are we going to change hand frames and change kind of the notes and tonal centers, but we're also going to change the characters, the articulations, and kind of the mood. So if you notice, at the very beginning, the first A section is marked mezzo forte, and then has a couple of little diminuendos. The B section is marked piano, and then comes up to mezzo forte. And as you can see, each section is going to have its own dynamic marking. So I'd like us to work our way through the piece together, and we'll kind of work on one section at a time and kind of talk about what the dynamics are. With the A sections, of course, one of the big challenges is making them not exactly the same as each other. And you'll notice, for example, that the very first A section, like I said, is marked mezzo forte, but the second A section is marked piano dolce. And that's pretty different. So we're going to go through every single section of the piece, but we will go through one at a time, and we'll kind of talk about a plan for each one. So we'll start here at the beginning with the A section, and it's mezzo forte, then has a couple of little diminuendos. Okay, so let's just do this first A section together. Ready, go. right? We've got accents in measure 4 and again in measure 7, 7 and 8. And those accents mean just like a little bit zingier bow. Okay, then the B section starts piano, but then halfway through has a subito or sudden mezzo forte, and then a crescendo and some sforzandos. Sforzando is kind of like an accent, but with more faster bow. Let's do the B section together, starting piano. Ready, go. Now all of a sudden, mezzo forte. And a big fast diminuendo because this A section is piano dolce. And now, after that diminuendo at the end of that A section, we have a subito forte. And then be careful, because in a couple measures, we're going to have a subito piano. So the C section is very emotional. So ready for the forte, C section, ready, go. And then immediately piano. Diminuendo. Okay, now this A section is marked pretty much the same as the first one. Mezzo forte, a couple little diminuendos. I'm sorry, I just noticed it does not have the accents. So let's try this A section again, and no accents, okay? Ready? Mezzo forte, but smooth. Ready? Go. And the D section is forte. And then piano. And then coming back up, forte. And fortissimo. This is the loudest point of the piece. And now we have an A section that starts piano, but then has a subito mezzo forte halfway through. Okay, now the E section is very similar to the C section. So it starts forte and then it has a subito piano, but you've got some sforzandos within the piano, a diminuendo, and then the C section, the second half of it is mezzo forte. Or excuse me, the E section. Whereas the C section stays piano the whole time. And it doesn't have any sforzandos. So the E section, we need to have sforzandos in the piano, and then the second half is mezzo forte. So here we are on the E section. This is, by the way, the forte that's halfway through measure 57. Ready? Go. Subito piano. Mezzo forte. Okay, this A section is the same as the first one. So we have the mezzo forte, we have the accents, and then the little diminuendos. But we do not have the accents the second time, so it's actually not exactly the same as the first one. Ready? Go. Okay, now the F section starts piano. Then it has a subito mezzo forte, and then a subito piano, and then a subito forte. So the F section is kind of all over the place. Okay, so we're going to try to really bring that out. And then it has a little diminuendo at the end, and then the last A section starts piano. It doesn't have any accents the first time through. And then the second half is mezzo forte with a crescendo up to forte and accents. And then we have a little slow down and a diminuendo to the end. So let's do the last F and then the last A section together. So the F section starts halfway through measure 73 with an up bow. Piano. Ready? Go. mezzo forte, crescendo, forte, accents, slow down. And there is a fermata and also a diminuendo on the last note. All right, so that piece is really fun. It's got a lot of contrasts in dynamics and articulation and character, as well as, of course, the contrast between the sections and the different keys. So I hope that you enjoy working on that. Of course, then the idea is for you to put it all together, which we will do now. You'll have to pardon me, I have a page turn in the middle, but I know you do too. So we will turn the page in the middle of the D section. All right, from the beginning, without stopping, but trying to do as much as possible with everything on the page. Ready? Go. Up. Ready, go. All right. Great job, everybody. Take a nice bow. All right. For those of you who are working on the second Seitz, we can go ahead and go on to that. If you, like I said, if you do not have a book 4, then you can be done with this video. But for those of you who do have second Seitz, remember that it's piece number 2, so pages 12 and 13 of the book 4. And I don't want to talk through this whole thing. Those of you who have been working on it, we've been working on it quite a bit. And so mostly I want today to be an opportunity for us to do a playthrough together so that you can feel all of the contrasts of dynamics and articulation, just like what we've been talking about in the Martini Gavotte, but doing everything that is written here in the music for the Seitz. So we're going to do a full playthrough, and if you want to, you're more than welcome to just follow along in your music and listen to me do this the first time and then rewind and play it with me the second time. I'm going to do my very best to bring out all of the accents, all of the character markings, things like risoluto or leggero, espressivo, tranquillo e dolce, brillante. This piece has a lot of great, really specific directions for the performer. as well as, of course, all of the dynamics, the articulation markings. Do bear in mind that the 16th notes are too fast to really play with a true staccato. So instead of attempting a true staccato, especially in the 16th notes and the brillante section at the end, please make sure that it's just nice and light, not a heavy scrubby kind of articulation, but don't try to do a real staccato because it's actually physically impossible at this speed. All right, so like I said, I'm just going to play this once for you, but feel free to listen and then rewind and play it with me, or play with me several times. I hope that this is helpful for you. So here I am at the beginning of where the violin part comes in. 1, 2, ready, go. All right. Great job, everybody. Let's take our nice bow. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye.